Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin Michael Tanner and welcome back to Paleo Art Studios. So today I got another drawing and this time it's based off of one of those older dinosaur movies that you may have heard of but probably never seen. And that is the 1960 film Dinosaurus. Now, a few years ago, I think before I went to university 5 years ago, I picked up this cheap copy of Dinosaurus from a convention center in my city, and I never really got around to watching it until last night. And it was actually very interesting, and I really got the sense that it may have been the inspiration for Jurassic Park, with the story being set on an island in the Caribbean, and people dealing with a power outage and dinosaurs running amok and attacking vehicles. And yeah, I like to call this movie the very first Jurassic Park. So for today, I'm gonna be drawing. Basically, I'm just going to be drawing my own version of Dinosaurus, and I'll also be explaining where I got inspiration for it from. And yeah, I'm just going to go from there, and you'll hear it all. So keep watching. So, out of all the drawings that I've done so far, I think this one had to be the most ambitious because it went through the most versions and redos I've done for any picture. And when I decided that I wanted to do fan art of Dinosaurus, I wanted it to look like a Frank Frazetta painting. So I took inspiration from the original poster of Dinosaurus with the Brontosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus fighting, and have them standing on top of a mountain of dinosaur skeletons. And at first, that sounded like a good idea, but the more I thought about it, the more I realized that, you know what, basically, just to put it, I got another idea and I just decided to set this one aside so I could do it later. So, as far as my interest for this movie goes, it was something I heard of a long time ago when I was around 10, and I saw the original theatrical trailer for it on YouTube, and that was the day when most old dinosaur movies were limited to me, and I really wanted to see it. And it wasn't until 5 years ago when I went to the Expo Center that I actually managed to grab a copy, but I never really watched it until now, and I think it was a really awesome movie considering it was from 1960. So for this new version of my drawing for Dinosaurus, aside from the other one that I just showed you, I got the idea to just do a picture of the caveman fighting the T-Rex. And at first I liked it, but the more I worked on it, the more I realized it wasn't as dynamic and awesome as I thought it was. So I just decided to do another version. And I found the caveman pretty interesting and amusing. Like he was frozen in suspended animation for probably 20,000 years, and then he wakes up in the 20th century to see that the world has changed around him, and he starts to adapt. And the way he befriends Julio, the boy character in the movie, I found that very amusing, and it was it was almost like I can watch it. It was, yeah, it was. I don't know how to word it, but it was amusing. It really was, and yeah, it was really, and the way the creators portrayed the friendship between Julio the caveman and the brontosaurus in the movie, it really gave you the sense of the wonder that kids felt in the 1960s about prehistoric stuff, like meeting friendly cavemen and learning to ride dinosaurs. Really interesting stuff. So now this is the final version that I decided to do for this painting. And halfway through watching the movie, I decided to kind of take a music break to kind of get some more inspiration. And I was listening to one of my favorite songs, Bonnie Taylor's Holding Out for a Hero. And it really gave me an idea for a kind of chivalry and romance story that I would often formulate of this hulking hero saving this woman from a monster, and that gave me the idea for the caveman saving Bonnie, or whatever her name. No, not Bonnie. Whatever the lead actress of the movie was. I decided to depict a scene of the caveman saving her from when she's caught by the Tyrannosaurus in the movie. And I kind of got the idea to do a mix of art styles between Frank Frazetta and Mike Mignola, who is another favorite artist of mine from the Hellboy comics. If you read those, you probably know about him. So, as I'm doing this painting, I kind of figured that I'm pretty much a kid from the 1960s, because like I love these pulp fiction and adventure stories of brave heroes rescuing princesses and beautiful women from hulking monsters. And like, it just gives you that adrenaline that you feel like. And to me, it's really awesome. I have that feeling all the time whenever I'm listening to some hard rock or an epic score from a fantasy movie. And when I draw something like this, it just expresses that feeling that I think almost every kid who has read stories like Conan and Tarzan get whenever they, it just gives you that feeling of chivalry and honor. And I think that's a feeling that most boys these days kind of forgotten. And I'm like one of those lucky kids who's kind of a relic from a bygone age. And yeah, it just makes me, I think a lot of guys can relate to this, but this has been a feeling that I've pretty much had throughout my entire life. And I think it's a wonderful feeling for a boy to have, because if like these heroes can be a role model for you in life, even like say when you don't have somebody to look up to. Like I've learned that sometimes when you don't have someone to look up to in life, you can turn to great stories for inspiration. And that's what I did for most of my life. Like I turned to these great epic adventure and fantasy stories, and I looked up to the hero characters that I was in awe of for most of my life. And this drawing expresses that feeling in a way I think no other drawing I've ever made does. Because this drawing expresses the feeling that I think every boy of the old days ever had in life. They just love the heroes that they read about or see on TV, and they dream of being those heroes someday. And they grow up to one day find that they're the heroes of their dreams. So, this is my first picture of Dinosaurus. I will be doing more later on in the near future. And if you like my work, like and subscribe and ring the bell for notifications. And for exclusive content, check out my Patreon. And I will see you later.